Ano oh.
Thirsty and 30.
Hi, Thirsty friends. I'm Sherry, and welcome to season 2 of Thirsty and 30, the blind leading the blind chat show on Smarter Love.
And I'm Bea. So, guys, we made the mistakes before, so you don't have to. And we got you, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be your researchers as long as you guys want us to be. Yeah.
Yes, or until our research is successful and we find our love lives. Our
Successful
loves. Joke
ka?
lang. Or
Successful ka na ba, Sherry?
Sana. Joke lang. Okay, so guys, please do us a favor and share this live with your single and ready to mingle friends. You know, guys, we didn't go live last week, so this should be a fun one, guys. Comment naman. We'll love it. So also don't forget to click the subscribe button down there. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hello, everybody watching.
Hello. Yep, exactly. So Sherry, tonight we talk about the different takes of love because we have spoken to so many people, and you see everyone has a different perspective. And I'm really curious if it is nurture or nature. The good old debate in psychology. Yeah.
The good old Michael Jackson song. So, guys, tonight we have two sisters raised similarly, but go about life and love, I guess, fairly differently. We have Nick and Kai Madriñan. Nick is a YouTuber and a money mindset coach, and her sister Kai is a creative and the host of the podcast on Learning with Us. So let's bring both of them in. Here's Erica
Excited.
and Nick. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
Hello.
Wednesday, hump day.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Erica, we call you Kai, right? Kai.
You can call me
Or-
anything, but yeah, Erica
Oh.
or Kai.
Anything you can call me, anything you want. Okay, good.
Exactly.
Okay. So, ladies, let's start with a bit of an icebreaker, just so we get to know each other well. Question number 1. Bea, you can join in if you want to. What
course.
is your go-to lande or flirting move? Let's start with the younger one. Nick, go.
Okay, I'll give you the before and the after because my before, when I was in my bad girl stage, I used to smoke. So, so when you're smoking, you need someone to like give you a light. So I would look for the cute guy who sino yung feel ko in the area, and I go to that guy and be like, "Hey, can you light me up?" I can't.
You
It's
like
so
me.
annoying. Yeah.
Oh my
But then,
god.
but then it works at that time. But I just attract
Yeah.
the wrong guy, so that's fine. But now that I moved past, I don't smoke anymore. I've become very just straightforward. If I like you, I will tell you, and then I'll get your number, and then let's go on a date. Like that's
Wow,
how.
I love
Okay,
it.
straightforward, strong woman.
Those were
Okay.
the days you can ask for people's number out of nowhere.
I know, right? Kalabit and then, oy, pal.
Mm.
Joke lang. How about you, Kai?
I actually have the same strategy before when I was still smoking. But
Okay.
for me, the easiest way was to do a cheers thing with a guy. So I will find the guy who I like across the room, look him straight in the eye, and like cheers him with a beer or a cocktail. And then after that, if he cheers back, then I know this is on, right? So then I ask him to come forward. So that happened to me a lot in the, I don't know, oh my god, I forgot the clubs na in the fourth.
You guys
but-
are smooth, huh?
I know,
have to say,
smooth operating.
smooth sister.
You can't go to me. And I'm just
I
like,
know.
this
I'm just
awkward
like, oo nga. Like, oy, musta? Actually,
Fancy seeing you
yeah.
here.
Come here often. Me
How you
also.
doing?
Yeah,
Let's go to mini
yeah.
stop. I love the fried chicken. Nah.
Me
Yes,
too.
me too.
It's good fried chicken. Okay,
Mm.
so here's another icebreaker question. Just a quick one. What is the most tililing or crazy thing that you've done in the name of love?
Oh my god.
So I'll start. Tililing. I would
Ooh, we
say
have
the first.
some smooth moves from Nick and Kai.
Look who commented. Guess who that is?
Your boyfriend? Invento
My
ba ako?
sister's boyfriend.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Nice
He
to
wants
meet
to be
you.
known. He's like, that's my girl. You don't, no one's gonna
Yeah,
take her
mark your
from me.
territory. Yeah, exactly.
Don't. It's okay. It makes him happy. It's fine.
The first thing that comes to mind, my tililing moment was so I was in a long-term relationship before my current one. So we were together for so long. So I was already working back then while he was a student. So I would be the one to like pay for the Ubers for him to like meet with me because he didn't have, that much money. And then
Okay.
he would be in Fairview, where he was
Mm.
studying, and I would Uber there. That would cost like 500 to 600 pesos. So that's a lot of money, just to
Yeah.
see a guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that was my moment that I was like, maybe he should be making more effort than me, even though I have more money. So yeah,
Parang may
We have
mali.
been.
Parang yun na realize mo, no? Parang may mali dito,
Oo.
ah.
parang
Exactly.
parang di pantay.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Any? Or nagwala ka
Um,
ba in a bar kasi may nakita kang lalaking type mo pero di ka type? Or si Ben, nagbasag ng tequila bottle? Yung mga ganun.
oh God. Oh, there's a lot of those stories. Let's not
Mm.
even get started on the drunk moments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, but
There's a
no,
lot.
but I remember with my second ex-boyfriend, I think. Um, I didn't know. So we were together already. I didn't know that his ex-girlfriend was still coming over to his house, and the
Okay.
entire family knew.
Ooh.
So when I found out about it, instead of saying like, "Yo, dude, like you're cheating on me," I did my best to win the entire family. So I always brought them food. I gave
Oh
them
my god.
alcohol. I would always treat them. Alam mo yun, like a dog's chicken with emperador. Alam mo yun, like
Yeah.
always giving them stuff. And then after that, I realized that they were still having sex behind my back.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and cheated on me several times. So
Yeah.
and I was still giving all of my money. So I guess strong independent women, we just
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard,
We
right?
sometimes we
Wow.
use our money for, the wrong reason sometimes.
This is a very important topic because you are a money mindset coach. We'll get into the letter and stuff, but I think money, huh? And should there be a
Correct.
because it's the way you have to. There's an imbalance sometimes with men
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Treat them
and
as entertainment expense na lang. Ganun na lang yun.
Not a need. I mean, like in terms of that, like you kind of have to like experience the bad stuff before you kind of,
yeah.
figure out the lessons from it. So for me, it's just like, yeah, I know now what not to spend my money on, and I know
Yeah.
why I did that.
Okay, that is very good. I'm gonna ask for advice later in backstage on money at hindi mabudol. But we'll jump into the letter. So I will read it out again. So dear Shari and Bea and other thirsty girls, I've been watching your vlogs and it has been informative, inspiring, and entertaining. I'm sharing my story because it's like sharing it to my high school barkada as well. I'm 39 years old, just broke up with my live in partner for 13 years. We have a child who is 11 years old. He cheated on me for the eighth time with different women, and that's not even the end of it. When we started dating, he never told me he was married. He got me pregnant, did pamanhikan, then when we got the Senomar, which I have no idea what it is.
Certificate of non-marriage.
Okay. That's the only time I knew that he was married. Our relationship is a series of lies, gaslighting, and manipulation by him. We met each other, I was just 25 years old. I feel like I wasted my youth, my years, my tears, my effort, my energy, even my beauty on him. I haven't healed, I'm in pain. I have a codependency syndrome. Thus, I always take him back because once I'm in a relationship with someone, he tends to be my world, and I get so attached. Thus, regardless of his mistakes, I accept him all the time. 4 weeks to the breakup, I have not heard from him. It's a roller coaster of emotions. There are days when I am good, there are days when I cry, but I know I have to be firm since this is just a cycle. Kind regards, Miss I Need Help. Yeah.
Okay. So, Erica or Nick, do you guys have something to say to Miss I Need Help?
I think Erica.
Yeah.
Talagang
Go.
ipasa mo sa akin. Um,
How did
First,
you
I just
move on from it, right? The whole cheating thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think first I just want to say, like, I'm sorry that you went through that. I think that's really, really hard. I could imagine so much emotional stress and drama that could have affected your entire life. Um, and when it comes to cheating and heartbreak, honestly, I what I did was to focus on something else. I worked my ass off. I went up the career ladder when I broke up with that ex who broke up with me.
Yeah.
Um, it took me 1 year to be 1, 2 years to be head of marketing at my second job, and I earned good money, and then I started working out. So I really focused on myself. But
Yeah.
I don't think in this situation it's the same. I think this person, or yeah, if you're listening, like I would really recommend to just learn yourself more,
Mm.
understand where this codependency is coming from. Like, is it something that you grew up with? Was there something in your childhood that affected this affected your relationships with men or relationships in general? And then kind of have a like reflect, have a self reflection moment or time for yourself and see, why are you not putting yourself first?
Yeah.
What is your self-worth? And that should always be a priority versus men in general or other people. Sorry, I think you should understand what you're capable of,
Yeah.
and then go into a relationship. I think, I'm not saying it for everyone. I think that's what helped me.
Mm.
And fun fact, I read Why Men Love Bitches when I broke up with this
Oh
guy.
yes, I did too. I did
It
too.
fucking helped, honestly.
Is that
Like,
the one with the doormat? I read that. My gosh, the first breakup
yeah.
I read that. Gosh, you
So it
read a lot of
helped.
like sad like books that make you feel really low, but you're like it actually does help.
Hmm.
It does. So I would just, yeah, do that, I
Yeah.
think.
I
Nick,
mean,
how about you?
from me, I will give a different perspective because I've
Yeah.
seen close friends or like people, I know who experiences
Mm.
and they would ask for advice or like, firsthand, I see it happening to them. And the thing is, what I realize is that even if I give them the advice that they need, like it will never fully sink in until they realize it for themselves.
Mm.
And that's why, like what Ate said, na parang you really need to dig deep and like really self-reflect. Parang, I mean, sa simula, you just want to watch Netflix all day, get drunk, and like do all the fun stuff, which is fine. Like it's part of the process of grieving. But at some
Yeah.
point, you're gonna have to like face all those dark parts of you that are ugly that you keep putting at the back of your head.
Yeah.
And then only then will you realize like why do I have this like codependency and things like that. And I remember this one thing that this person told me who was cheated multiple times and like
Mm.
eventually grew from it. Like he said that we were asking him like, so how did you deal with it? Like how did you still continue to trust in a relationship or like move on from it? And then he's like, I just realized my worth. That's it. Like
Mm.
as simple as that. You know how guys are straightforward, that's it. So it really boils down to that only when you realize like that you're worth it, that you deserve like the best kind of love, then you will realize like you're not gonna take shit from anyone and
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
can be a bitch. Like that's why men
Right.
love bitches.
Hmm.
Yeah. How about you, Shari? What do you think?
I like what they both said, about healing yourself. But I guess, um, you can listen to both of them, and I mean, their sound advice. But so I guess my advice would be for others. Learn from this, and at the first sign of deceit at that level, you get out. Because you're just
Mm,
setting yourself up for a world of pain. You don't want to be in a relationship for how long was that? 12, 13 years. You could have
yeah,
gotten out the first year when you found out he was still married. I mean, of
yeah,
course, you're not to blame and you were lied to. What I'm saying is, if you guys are lucky enough to sniff out something this bad early on, like, do your best to get out. You're gonna save yourself a world of pain.
yeah.
I think that would
I
be my
think it's
practical advice.
I think
How
it's
about you,
really
Bea?
tough because codependency it's such an issue because
Mm-mm.
I'm very similar that I look for qualities that I want for myself. So I really look for people that are smart. I really basically what they have is I want for myself. And that's an issue, right? So I think when you're codependent on someone, I'm a bit methodical in a way that what I did was I wrote things that I was missing and I worked on that because I was starting to see it was all in my ex or people I dated.
Mm.
And the thing is, you can never keep them. They're not like, parang mga manika na pwede mo itago, di ba?
Itago at i-collect.
You can't. Unfortunately, they are not dolls. They have to let them go. Yeah, so try to fill that. And then super basic, it sounds so cheesy, but eat well because if you eat crap,
Yeah.
like give yourself a week or a month to eat crap, do you're magsasawa ka eh. Imagine nakahubad ka
Oh.
lang natutulog at kumakain ka ng pizza, magsasawa ka
Mm-mm.
after 1 month. And then after that, you start to eat well, do a lot of journaling. I did that. It sounds so cheesy, but honestly, you're gonna wake up after a year or 5 years and you're gonna be like, actually, I don't need this person.
Right.
And you're just gonna be
So,
so much happier. Yeah. Yeah.
Miss, I need help. I hope we did help you. And you did not deserve that kind of treatment. We're sorry that you're in a lot of pain. But
Yeah.
I guarantee you, you follow any of their advice or, your therapist or whatever to heal, I guarantee you relief. It's gonna be like a weight off your shoulders. Like however much weight that guy weighed, it's gonna be off your shoulders. You don't need that excess baggage. So
Nakakagaan, you're gonna glow. You're gonna glow.
no, you'll feel so much better. So we
Yeah.
wish you luck. Okay, so ladies, thank you for that. We'll dive into our topic. We will be dissecting this topic of ours in three parts. We'll do the foundation, exploring, and sustaining love. Okay, so we'll start with the first one: foundation of love and how you learned love. Question number one: what did your parents teach you about love?
Yep.
Erica, let's start with you, the eldest one.
She's the
What did our
eldest
parents?
one. Just so everyone knows in
No,
this.
I'm the older one, not the eldest one. Okay.
Oh, older
Oh,
one
Yeah.
between the sisters, right?
Yeah.
fine.
I think what they taught, I remember, I don't know if there was something particular that they taught us about love, but I do remember my parents being very PDA growing up. They really like touching each other. They like making lambeng with each other. And I remember one time I was like, oh, can you stop, please? And then my dad would always be like, do you prefer us fighting? And then I remember just, okay, that makes so much sense. Um, about their relationship, right? Like you prefer them being disgustingly, in love with each
Yeah.
other rather than fighting. And I think I also mentioned before that I remember my dad telling me that all he wants to do is make my mom happy. He didn't teach me that, but it really just stuck in my head, that you really just want to make your partner happy,
Yeah.
in whatever way. I think that's just what I remember.
How about
I
you,
like
Nick?
that.
Yeah. I think my parents weren't, I mean our parents weren't like do this. This is our values. Like they were never like that. So for me, like how they taught us love is how they showed it to us,
Hmm.
and like how they treated each other. So for me, what stuck with me, as I said, like if in my relationship, like I want to make sure that we have fun together. Like it's not like love doesn't have to be so serious. Like you have to be writing love letters to each other and always being so lovey-dovey. Like when you get old, like it's true what they say that you're probably just gonna make sure that that person is your best friend and that you're gonna laugh with your best friend. Like my mom and my dad, they crack each other up with the most random things, and we're like, what the hell, you guys are so freaking weird. Like sometimes we're embarrassed because they just have this so much inside jokes and they crack each other up. And I said, like, that's what like love is. Like you just laugh at each other and you have fun. And like in the long run, like when you get old, like that's what's gonna make life fun. That's what's gonna make life like something that you enjoy. So for me, that's what love is. Like that's what our parents showed us.
I
Yeah.
like that showed you by example, and that's quite
Yes.
nice. But I'm curious, who is the more rebellious sister between the two of you in life and love? You sound
Come on.
very
Come on,
pleasant, but
sis.
I want to
Just raise
know who. Please
Mm-mm.
go forward.
just raise your hand, sis.
I raised the white flag. No, I mean, I. It really depends what you mean by rebellious. I think it's more of I just had
Out
a
of the
lot of
norm.
out of the norm. But
Yeah.
then I would say, yeah, for sure, me. I think I just had a lot of. I just didn't care much about things when I was younger. I saw love differently because I was also overweight when I was younger. So there was a lot of self esteem and self confidence issues that happened. So I saw that every little attention for me doesn't mean anything because
Mm.
I had so much like uncertainty. So I would
Mm-mm.
literally just date anyone and be like, okay, go for this in a sexual way because maybe this will be how love is.
Yeah.
Um, until I got into different kinds of relationships and realized that, oh my god, I am so much cooler than them and so much better. I deserve more.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think in terms of being sexual and experimenting on dates, then I would say yes, I am more rebellious than my very stable, lovable sister.
I
You
think
sound
we'll
very
judge.
stable to
Boring.
me, Erica. I like your I like
Yeah,
your
I
thought
like your
process.
vibe.
I like your vibe.
And you
I
do
am digging it.
you do talk about kind of like the most important part of love and relationships and dating, which is the exploratory phase. Because I think
Mm-mm.
you don't really know off the bat. Yeah, you see what your parents do and maybe your grandparents, but you never really know what's gonna work for you.
Mm-mm.
So we'll go into that, and I'm curious. I hope iba naman yung answer. But sino ang palaging
Oh, next to
nabubudol
the
sa
point na naman.
si Nick naman. Sana ito yung sagot ah. But who is the one
Uh,
na palaging nabubudol sa pag-ibig? Why? And then share an experience.
Maybe we both share an experience because we've
Okay.
had our share of
You don't want to
budol.
Okay.
accept this question.
Because it ain't me. I'm not
I
gonna
was like,
say it's me.
okay, Nick. Tell us your experience, Nick, and then we'll judge who
Budol,
is mas
budol.
nabudol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kami
okay,
na
yeah,
lang.
yeah, yeah. Give
Competition
your
to.
point. Okay, budol, budol, budol. Okay. Um, hmm. The fact that I'm like thinking about it. Okay. So
Marami ba?
maybe, okay, let me go back. Oh, okay, this is okay. This is like a long story, but I'm gonna condense it. So let's go back to like high school because when you're in high school, that's our legit exploratory phase. We're like insecure. We don't know what to do with our hair. We don't know what the fuck's growing outside our body or something.
Yeah.
So that's a time wherein you're like, if someone just pays attention to you, you're like, oh my gosh, I am loved, I am worthy, I am everything.
Right.
So in high school, I had this guy best friend who like I was, best
Crushing
friends with
on.
for the longest time, yeah. But then I was crushing on him for the longest time also. But he had a girlfriend. But while he had a girlfriend, he would talk to me a lot and then telebabad, ganyan. And then he would tell me like, sometimes like I wish like I met you first. Da, 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 da. Yung mga
Mga
ganon.
lalaki talaga.
Yung
Mga
mga
linya,
ganon.
nakakainis.
So what were you
Tapos,
thinking? Did you fall for it? Did you fall for it?
Yeah.
syempre nga, kaya may context ako, di ba? Insecure, high school kid. So, syempre ako naman parang, oh my God, we have hope together. Tapos, I don't know about you guys, but did you have a phase na, I don't know kung ako lang yun nung high school or something, like, we would make scenarios like as if we were together. Like, he would
Of course,
send
yeah.
me,
I
like,
still do that. I still do that. And
okay.
I've built a life with Brad Pitt 10 times over.
Diba? And it's just fun because you think like, okay, this is our reality, but it's not. And then,
Yeah.
alam mo yung red flag na dapat nalaman ko while he was doing that, and then after a conversation, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I probably should delete this just in case she sees it.
Oh my gosh.
Yan ang mga halata talaga.
See, early signs of deceit.
Correct. And then there was a time that basically I was drunk and then he took care of me, and then he's like, oh, I wish time stood still. I'm like,
Kasasapakin tong lalaking to.
I know, right? It's just so funny. And then, yeah. So anyway, for me, yun yung pinaka-budo mo because like, I think that was like probably almost 3 years of my life in high school where umaasa ako with this guy that eventually he's gonna break up with this girl because he keeps telling me on the side, like, you know, like how he wishes that, you know, things were different. So for
Men
me,
do that. They use like words and they hook you in. They hook you in.
And keep you hooked.
yeah.
Strung along.
So, not
Okay,
again.
so that's contestant
How about
number
Kai?
1. Kai, ikaw naman.
Okay.
So maybe let's say that my experience would be maybe more on the, let's say I'm already in a mature stage, but still blinded by love. So maybe in my last relationship, we were in love. Okay, I mean, like, it was my ex-boyfriend. We lived together as well, and sometimes you already have this feeling that this person will be the one, right? Like, you already know, like, you live together with this person, like, you think that this person will be with you forever. So you ignore the red flags because because in your head it's about, you know what, no, I'll compromise because this is what relationships are supposed to be, right? But at some point, I think this person was also emotionally unavailable. So there was a point in our conversation, in our relationship, where I said, when I literally just mentioned marriage, I mean, if you've been together for 3 to 4 years, you will talk about it eventually. And he bluntly said, I don't see getting married with you in the future.
Oh.
And then
with you or marriage in general?
With me. And then I said, so that's exactly my clarification, Shari. I was like, with me or just marriage? I was like, I just want to clarify, you know?
Yeah.
And then
You're
he
so
said,
nice.
you know, communication. You need to like be sure.
Binato ko na yun ng plato. Gago ka.
Binatuan ko na siya dati ng pinya, actually. So,
Okay.
pinya ba or mango?
Okay.
Mango ata.
Masakit yun na.
Yes. So those are one of the red flags. And then when we broke up, I actually realized that he never said I love you to me. Like on his own. He only said it once in a written letter.
Yeah.
And then the rest, he only said like I love you too. Kasi nauna ako.
Wow.
So, you know, so I'm just saying, like, for everyone who's listening, that even if you're mature, sometimes we are blinded by love, and it's okay.
Right.
I think we just have to be very, I don't know, we just have to have a health check as well with ourselves. Na parang, is this person the really person you want to be with for the rest of your life? If you're that kind of person, sorry. If you don't want to marry, then also fine.
Wow.
That sucks.
I
That
always
sucks,
knew he had asshole tendencies. See? I knew it.
Yeah.
That guy, I was just being nice to you. I was like, fine, I'll accept this guy because you're my sister. But, you know, if I knew about that,
Yeah,
would have
that's
killed him somehow.
I'm happy now.
I don't even wanna. Yeah, good for you. That guy's a douche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, next question. What is your biggest heartbreak, and how did you recover from it? Erica, let's start with you naman this time.
Well, it is the same dude, actually, that I just last spoke. Yeah, I think that for me was the toughest one. Kasi like I said, you planned your life together with this person, and maybe just a little bit of background as well. Like, um, we were supposed to move to Germany together. Like we already got an apartment together, etc. And then I felt that he was emotionally distant.
Mm.
So I asked him like, "Is everything fine?" Blah blah blah, and he said, "I don't have feelings for you anymore." And if you if you're in a
Nahihilo na ako.
relationship with someone,
Ang sakit sa ulo nitong tao na to, ah.
Gusto mo
Ano
sipain,
yan?
di ba?
How long were you together for before this whole I
like
don't
siguro almost 4 years, almost four
Oh
years.
my God, nakakairita siya. Okay.
I know. Um, and then I thought, is this something that, alam mo yon, baka pwede pang ibalik yung feeling,
Yeah, for
or
sure.
or is it completely gone? So we tried to make it work. But then when I followed up, like, hey, so how's your feelings? And he said, yeah, it's still not there anymore.
Ah,
Um, so I kind of that was really painful for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I had to go through so much emotional and physical pain just because I
Yeah.
was on my way to Germany that time, and he was
Mm.
gonna be in Germany.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult for me, and the way I kind of got over that was to really I put all of my attention in moving to a new country, in a country where I don't speak the language, where I was alone, where I
So
didn't have a
hard.
job, where I
Yeah.
didn't have any close friends.
mm-hmm.
And that took a lot of my time. And I also did journaling, by the way.
That's
Um,
good.
yeah, it was really helpful. And then, of course, a lot of that was just me getting drunk and going on Tinder. Sorry. Also,
So
I just
That's
yeah,
the
had
also
like a lot
best,
to do.
right? Your Tinder
journaling,
escapades.
Tinder. Okay
They
yun.
go hand in hand. But so
Yes.
basically, you use journaling, Tinder, and other releases and focus to kind of recover, right? How about you, Nick? What was your biggest heartbreak?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stray a bit because I realized like at this point in time, like
Hmm.
my biggest and pinakamasakit na heartbreak was um yung naapektuhan yung friendships ko because of it, because of
Okay.
that breakup.
Yeah.
So I shared before, and like basically I dated the ex of my best friend. So I, even though that they already like broke up like 1 year later, even though I asked her like if it's okay, blah blah blah. Again, that was like a time wherein I was just a very insecure person who wasn't self aware, who just was. I can relate with you, Beo, when you said that you look for someone who like you find
Yeah.
traits that you want to be in you. Like I
Yeah.
think that's what happened to me. Like I saw this guy, like yes, I want his traits, like I want everything like how he is, and I want to
Hmm.
get him, I want to date him. So and that was a time where I wasn't in a good place.
Hmm.
So I just jumped into it. And, he, even though siya, alam niya na close friend ko yung ex niya, he still
Yeah.
pursued me also. So ako naman, si Gaga, uh, um,
This is
that
the Gaga
happened.
alter ego.
Oo,
Everyone has it, by the way, Nick.
correct. 'Di ba?
Everyone.
Yung Gaga moment. So I
Yeah.
did. And I think that that decision will forever be something that um will hurt. I hurt the relationship I was
Yeah.
with that best friend. So thankfully now, like we are still friends, but then that friend of mine was really really like damaged from what happened because
Hmm.
she trusted me, like we were close. And so ako naman, selfish at that time, didn't really think of it that much. So for me,
Right.
masakit yun when we broke up with that guy. Even though that guy, we were together for like 4 months or something. Like we weren't
Mm.
Yeah.
even like super legit together,
Yeah.
So even though it was a short time, yung pinakamasaklap is like how it affected my relationship with a really good friend.
Hmm.
And that's also something that I had to like really deal with, like really understand kung bakit ko nga ba ginawa yun. At I had to forgive myself too. Kasi if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't forgive myself, then it would be like a baggage that would have,
Yeah.
translated
The
with my career, with my relationships, things like that. So,
Well,
yeah.
you guys have gone through kind of like that's pretty tough for both of you. Like, hearing someone that just says like they don't have feelings for you, they don't see a future with you. That's pretty tough. And then Nick, of course, like going for your friend's ex-boyfriend, and then
The guilt
you
will
know
kind of could eat
yeah,
you up,
even if
right?
the guy is like really, winning you over, at the end of the day, your friend like is not gonna be the same friend you had before. But we'll jump a little bit because I think you both have very different experiences, and I want to know, dating a Filipino versus a foreigner. How are they different? I mean, yeah, you guys compare notes.
Do we compare notes, Nick?
Definitely not the intimate part. I don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
I like that my sister says sex is intimate when I'm like sex.
Yeah. The intimate part of
Yeah,
it.
Okay. I know
I don't
yours
want
is
to know about
intimate, and
that.
we're like, sex? You mean sex?
Uh-uh.
Okay, Nick, you are
But
mature.
Mm-mm.
I think si Ate, she has a good share of both breeds,
Mm.
so she has very good comparison.
Okay. So
So I'll
Kaya,
let her
tell us,
share.
what do you is the most distinct differences between dating a foreign man versus our our men at home?
I think Armin. I think the biggest difference for me is the no games, no bullshit part.
Mm.
And with dating Filipinos, there's the legal part, right?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Where the guy is the suitor, where he has to put his best image forward,
Mm.
and then if you like it, his best parts, then go into a relationship.
Mm.
That's and the involvement of the entire family. That's the biggest
Yes.
difference for me.
True.
Kailangan there's an approval of the entire family or friends to be in a
Yeah.
relationship with
It's a
someone.
full barangay, right?
It's
Uh-uh.
a full barangay, like judging and like the titas and the titos would be like, ay, oh, he's guapo. Like, yes, go date him. I was
Pwede.
like, I never asked for your opinion, tita.
Someone
Never.
in LGU.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Greetings,
So
bye.
do you like the legal part that Filipino men do, or you can do without it?
I don't really
You don't
care
appreciate.
about
It's
it.
okay.
No,
Oh
like for
wow.
me, it's like if I think you're cool and I feel like having a relationship with you, then let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't also go into like I love you tapos tayo na. I go into a relationship, then I say I love you. Because that's when the real colors show up, right? When you're
Yeah,
in a
for sure.
relationship and they've kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
Right.
Um so that for me is the biggest difference. With foreigners, at least the ones I dated, it was always like black and white. Like, oh yeah, we're together. Oh, yeah, I like you. Here's my parents. Like, they will respect you because I respect you.
Yeah.
Like, so that was for me the biggest difference.
I love that. That's so interesting.
Wow.
But you're right with the whole involvement of everyone. It's overwhelming. It's kind of like a make or break, sink or swim kind of premise.
Yes. Exactly. I think everybody's in it kasi. You're dating my daughter, you're gonna
Yeah.
date everybody else in the family. I guess you wanna vouch. I think it's more we are so tight knit. I think
Yes.
Mm,
there are pros and cons to it, I have to
yeah.
say. But
Hmm.
we gotta see rin naman, we just got each other's back. Also, pakialamera rin tayo. So,
Wait,
okay.
wait, before we jump into, I just want to say hi to one of our listeners. Hi, lovely. Hi. She says, "Hi, thirsty girl. So excited on this episode. Part of my routine when I'm driving home is listening to your podcast. First time to watch you live. Please do
Hi,
ask us
lovely.
questions." Yeah,
Ate
can you
Shari and
relate?
Ate Bea.
Tita.
Just call me Shari.
Tita na, tita, tita.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Okay, so guys, Bea and I had a conversation with
Hmm.
um Danny Laurel a while ago, and we also asked her the same question. Is there such a thing as being too strong as a woman that men are gonna be too intimidated to date you? Because Bea and I hear it all the time. Or your personality is
You're
too
coming on too
strong.
strong, like
Oh, you're too
mellow
tough. Blah, blah, blah.
down.
Men will be intimidated and nobody's wala nga akit ng ligaw. So what do you guys think?
San ba?
I,
San ba umakyat?
oo
Go
nga.
ahead.
I mean for me, like I refuse and I will never change myself to be liked by a guy. Like I mean, and that's something that you learn in the process, right? Like, I mean, obviously, nagkwento ko ng mga budol moments ko in like relationships and stuff. And I came out of it now when I realized my worth. I'm like, you kind of, take it or leave it. Like, this is the whole package. Like, if you want me, like, as I, like, this part of me, then it comes with all the other parts. Na sometimes I can be too outspoken, sometimes I can be too straightforward, sometimes I can be too opinionated. But I think that comes along with, sometimes you just need to find, like, the guy that would accept all of that. And
Yeah.
if he does it, then he doesn't deserve you, girl. Like,
Wait,
nah.
Nick. What is the biggest complaint of your boyfriend to you? Or
Ah,
negative
ah,
review?
you
Good
know what?
question, Bea.
You
Investigador
know,
ka.
you know what? I asked him nga eh. Sometimes sinuhuli ko siya. Sabi ko, if there's one thing in a relationship that you want to change, what is it? I asked him like something like
So
that.
aggressive.
That's a good. That's a good.
And then he's
Ano-
like, wala naman. I'm like, be honest with me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And then
Yeah.
I think what he often just says is like, sometimes I'm like a workaholic, that I'm just like
Okay.
too into my work. So like I
Okay.
do, and then sometimes naman, I do take that into consideration, diba? Kasi sometimes we do have to compromise and like understand that it is a relationship. Hindi lang naman
Yeah.
take, diba?
Yeah, you can't be
Yeah.
too strong. There's this
Yeah.
thing like we've been reading in our book on how to not die alone, where they say like automatically people have like a shift response versus I can't support response. It's like when someone's telling you something, you'll say something that like brings it back to you, like shift it back to you, rather than actually asking the person to tell you more. It's like
Mhm.
I don't know,
Mm.
if someone says like how was your day, and they say to you, I have a bad day, and you say me too. It's like you just bring
Yeah.
it back to yourself, then make
Ah.
the other person feel good. But yeah, it's just interesting to hear that because like we get so self-absorbed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you do have to strike a balance also. Like, for me, like, that's why I do acknowledge it. Like, for example, okay, this is just me and this is how I like strike that balance. Like, for example, we do have like scheduled calls every day. Like, okay, 9 p.m. we talk to each other.
Yeah.
And then like that's quality time. And then like
Mm.
during the day, if I'm busy, I let you know, like I won't be able to answer your call because I'm doing something. But then I'm not gonna be like a bitch about it, be like, stop calling me, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um so, and in the same way, like, when we are together, super focused, like undivided attention ka. So
Mm.
like for me, like there really has to be, I mean, number one, when you are in that exploratory stage, like mag-gauge mo naman din yung ka-date mo, like you think is going to be like aligned with you in terms of like yung wavelengths nyo. And then, kasi like even what Ate said na parang, and sometimes you have to be in a relationship to really vibe with the person and see like, are you gonna be a fit? Because I remember with my ex also before, I
Yeah.
thought we were a fit, but then I realized na we weren't after 4 years.
Yeah. How about you, Kai? What do you think about this question of like coming on too strong and your partner's here? Let's ask him what's his biggest
I know. He's
challenge.
literally right here, like on the side.
He can
Be
Um,
like strong
chime in.
women.
Yeah.
no, I think that's also something that was a huge difference with dating foreigners. Honestly, like I never had to explain myself with my ex-boyfriend who's also German and now my boyfriend, because for them independence is such a good quality because they think I have my own life, you know.
Mhm.
When I dated Filipinos, that was a big struggle for me because it was never said. It
Mm.
was only that they made me feel that I was too strong and that I led the entire relationship because I like planning. I like planning in general. So I know what will happen in 1 year and I
Yeah.
know where I see this relationship in 2, 3 years. And
Yeah.
if you're not on board, then we have to have a discussion. Um,
Wow. Wait. How about with your partner? I wonder, is he a planner too? Because some men are not planners. I really
Yeah.
want to know this.
Why? How
he's
do
not.
some
He's
men?
not.
Okay,
Oh,
so men
why?
are
Ask him
not.
why.
Can we ask him if men are really not? Kasi
Is it
parang
because?
hindi.
I know. I think because this is one of our biggest fights when we started dating. Now he's
Oh,
listening.
Oh, shit's out of the
Um,
closet.
tell us,
no,
tell
because
us.
he's a very spontaneous guy, and
Okay.
I'm a planner. So
Okay.
I think we just compromised in that sense. Do you have
Can
an
we ask
opinion on
him
that?
what's the trick of dealing with spontaneous men? Just you want to look chill, but you want it to be serious.
You want men to plan? How do you force them?
I'm actually learning how to plan, and it's a good thing. I
Yeah.
have to admit, it's a good thing.
So for him, he likes that I'm a planner because planning is a good thing. So he kind
Yeah.
of just wants to learn how to do that. Like I taught him how to put things in the calendar.
It made my life easier.
Come say hi to us. Say hi to the
Oh, you must not.
Filipinos.
You want to say hi?
That's fine. Bye.
They asked if you want to say hi.
We won't. We don't bite.
Just say hello.
Hello.
But, I mean, it's not German, but like.
Hello.
How you doing? You right?
Hi.
Good to see
Hi.
some nice faces, smiley
Nice
faces.
to meet you.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. So, how do we force men to plan?
Yeah, please help us. We have spontaneous men around us, and they're just, what's the secret? What's the
The
secret?
secret of what? Sorry, I don't know if I understood correctly.
What's the secret to handling spontaneous men?
How did I handle you?
Yeah.
It's not like you handle me, is it? It's about it just tied me really, And
I like bondage. No,
Oh God.
no,
Love
listen.
it.
I think it's all about just talking, really, communicating with each other, and finding compromise. Yeah, I don't think it's anything like. Yeah, it's not nothing really. We don't force each other, do we?
no. We just talked about it mainly.
Yeah, I mean, also it takes time to adjust to that individual, but yeah, it's the communication is the key. I believe.
Thank you so much. Okay.
You guys
we
look
will-
worries.
good together. I have
You
to
guys are
say.
so cute. I love it.
No,
Cute
don't they
couple.
look alike? They look alike, guys.
Yeah,
Stop it.
there is
Thanks for
something
having me.
there.
Yeah.
I'm listening. Amazing
you're
episode. Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Kinorder natin.
Cute.
Cute kayong dalawa. Like it. Okay, we have an Instagram question. What are your thoughts on holding out on men? Because I've heard kind of a mixture. For some men, it's like they've said if you want to take things seriously, you hold out for 6 months. And then some women will say, do what you want. If you want to
Yes.
not hold out, go for it. If you want to sleep with someone first date, if you want to kiss them, you want to do everything on the first date, do it. What do you guys think?
That's a very good question, actually. Like I've been,
Yeah.
I thought about that a lot when dating here. Because, like I said, like it's so easy to find guys to sleep with here in Germany
Yeah.
because everybody's so open to sex and stuff.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, when I dated my boyfriend right now, I kind of I tried to not sleep with him immediately.
Okay.
Not because I was playing games or anything, but because I know that if I keep laughing so hard, I don't know what the fuck.
You have a live audience there. Very live.
I know. Sorry. I think you should do whatever you want, but
Okay.
we have to remember as well that men in general likes the chase.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't want to say, I don't want to generalize, but if
But
you
they do.
hold out a little bit on something, they will hold on to that.
They're predictable, huh? Predictable nga
Mm-mm.
talaga.
Men are
Dali lang.
quite.
Pag Tagalog tayo, para hindi na maintindihan.
Baka mal-
How about you, Nick? What do you think about holding out and not giving men exactly what they want right away?
Well, I'm gonna share a different perspective, but basically, like even with jumping off with the whole chase thing, like even with my current boyfriend, unconsciously I gave him the chase without me realizing it, and then I asked him actually, like, if I didn't like scene zone you for the longest time,
Yeah.
would you have like wanted to go out with me eventually? And then he realized na parang because he was so, syempre ang yabang niya, but he was used to like parang girls coming on to him or like the girls asking him out, like, you want to Netflix and chill? Like he would be so like, oh, like too aggressive or whatever.
Yeah.
when I was the girl who was like unconsciously seen zoning him, like it wasn't my intention. Okay, he was like,
Yeah.
what is with this girl? Like, why is she like not noticing me or like not paying attention to me, whatever? So for me, in a way, like it happens, but then it's not something that like I'm not gonna text him for the next 3 days because the 3 day rule, da 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 da. Because I was also like a victim of that then. Na parang he texted me like after 2 days. I will reply to him after 2 days. Like you should be just doing something else para you don't feel like you're like parang what do you call that? Parang nag-adjust ka sa
Naka,
timing niya,
nakabantay.
nakabangka. Yeah.
Ah.
So like for me, you just have to like deal with life as you are. Like just to focus on your things on things that you love to do. And if it just so happens that there's a guy there, parang hindi mo ipipilit na I'm not gonna reply for the next X days because I wanna look busy or something. Hindi ka
Yeah.
talaga makakapag-reply kasi busy ka talaga. Kasi may buhay ka.
Yeah. Be busy talaga. Huwag ka
Oo,
na magkunwari ma-busy.
correct.
Maging busy ka talaga.
Or if you want to play game, but pretend. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a scary thing. For me, because like they're gonna do that to you and then you're gonna do it. And then later on it's just prolonged the
yes, but a
situation.
few
Correct.
episodes ago, Bea, you've also suggested that keep your phone in the other room
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
don't think about
So
it so
keep
much.
busy.
It's the same thing. Yes,
But don't
oo.
count like 2 hours. 2 hours
Correct.
kita.
Oo,
Di kita check the
Bake,
timestamp.
bake something. Do some, distract yourself. There.
Yeah,
Distract
yeah, yeah.
yourself. Work
I get
out.
that.
Read a book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a believer in
Uh,
that. Do something else.
I
yes.
mean, I think at some point, parang if it's too long na, like you mentioned, if it's too prolonged, like one
Yeah.
of you needs to be like, what's your deal? Like, ano ba talaga gusto mo? Like, ako for me, I
Hindi.
reached
Feeling ko
that point.
nakakatakot kang i-date.
I know.
Feeling mo
Ako parang
sasigawan
ako
mo
din.
ako.
Hindi, kasi like, I remember I was asking advice from my sister because there was this guy who was like stringing me along. Like, I couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out. And then sabi ni ate, why don't you just be honest na parang, ano, like, what is it ba? Syempre, I wasn't be like, ano bang gusto mo? Parang it was more of like, if a vibe mo lang na parang, so when are we gonna hang out next time? And then he's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna check my sked. Check your
Yeah.
sked, tapos magre-reply ka
That's
next
bullshit.
month.
Bye.
So,
Wag yun.
So, iba vibes mo lang na, okay, so wala siyang definite answer, meaning wala rin siyang definite conclusion if he wants to pursue me or not. So,
Yeah.
you kind of just have to do it in a subtle way. Hindi naman yung parang sasakalin mo siya, ano na ba? Pagod na ako.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're learning so much here.
I
Right, Cherry?
know, right?
Love it.
Guys, we are towards the end na. Okay, we are in the sustaining the relationship. Kumbaga, we're done now looking. We've caught our fish. So, but before we dive into that, I want to know what's common between and different between you and your sister about your view on love and how you both act when you guys are in relationships. What's similar and dissimilar?
Similar, Nick. Okay, similar. I'll start with this is my opinion, Nick. By the way, please add your thoughts too. My sister and I, both of us, believe in communication a lot. I think because we also grew up with that. I remember being young and as a teenager that our parents would always be like, family meeting, let's talk about this, or them asking us to go to their room and talk to talk things out. So sermon was already a huge thing in our family. So I think we brought that a little bit. Also with our past relationships. So I think we like communicating what our needs are and what we don't like. In terms of differences, I think I would go back to something more physical as well. In terms of love languages, physical is my love language and quality time. So physical for me is very important. May it be a hug, a kiss, or even being intimate, as my sister would call it. That is very important to me. So I think that would be, so with similarities, I think communication. With differences, I think more on the physical side of things. My sister is different.
Do you
How about
agree,
you,
Nick,
Nick?
or do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, what the like I'll just share that personal experience also, like with my boyfriend also. Like I always like we have what we call honesty time. Okay, so I kind of give him a heads up. I'm like, so I just want to talk to you about something. Like, this is our honesty time. Okay, like we talk about it like adults. Like,
It
whether
About
sounds like adults, but it sounds like you're talking to a toddler. It's honesty time.
no. It's like our like inside joke. Kasi parang it's not so serious.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Kasi sometimes
Okay,
kasi when
okay.
you make it so serious, like, I don't like this. Parang mag-aaway kayo.
Right.
Yeah.
So parang it was just more of, oh, this is a no judgment zone. We're just gonna talk about like
A
what we
safe
feel.
space.
Na parang, and sometimes like, yung magiging light lang yung situation, hindi siya yung sobrang parang, kasi ganito ka, kasi gantan ka. Parang, it's just more of, we end up laughing about it and we're like, okay, moving forward, parang, I didn't like how you said this to me or like how you approach the situation. And I just wanna let you know that kasi parang I didn't appreciate that. So parang how do we move from it going forward? So kasi like my boyfriend, hindi siya sobrang madali mag-open up. So I think like that's what it comes with also like what Ate said na about communication. Kasi for me, I have to be very open about something. And I think in a relationship, you have to be on things you don't like, on what you like, para you grow as a couple. Like, you have to take in the criticisms, diba? You have to take in also when you felt hurt. You have to be open about it. Hindi yung lalabas na lang siya 2 years later. You're like, I hate it when you did this. You're like, ha? Ba't ka naghugot from X years ago? Ganyan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yun. And then what makes us different also is like the public display of affection. So my sister is that.
Or ano? Ano yun? Ano yun?
Big one. Go, Erica.
Which is fine. Like, yeah. Me
More
personally,
expressive.
more expressive, yon.
Yeah.
Which actually I didn't expect because my sister is kind of like, she would shout at me before, and then she wasn't really the lovey-dovey kind of sister. Like when you hug her, she would like kick you or something.
Grabe yung cake. Push you away naman.
So I think that's why when I see my sister like being all lovey-dovey, I'm like, who is she? Who is that girl? You know? So
Love
ako
changes you.
opposite.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Love changes you. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm curious. Okay, you talk to each other quite a lot. You're very close. What's your advice to each other about love? And what is love for you both? You know?
Make ikaw mag-start.
Gusto mo yung pang Miss Universe sa sagot ako una? Okay.
Because you're better at words than I am. Go.
What? Okay, so I would say the advice that my sister would give me is like, just be true to like what you value. Like whenever I ask her something, like she always just asks me back, like, are you comfortable with it ba? Like, is that something that you value? Is that something that hurt you? Can you open up more about that? So for me, it's about like, finding what, parang you shouldn't compromise your values. Like if you think that if this is something that's hurtful to you, pero for another person it's not, you have to be open about it and communicate it to the person, and then find compromises. Like especially in a relationship, even my boyfriend, like he's not the siya naman, he's not the most spontaneous one. Baliktad, ako yung spontaneous one. So, siya yung mas planner. Like, if it doesn't go to the schedule, he like freaks out. He's like, no, we're supposed to go at this time by 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. whatever. So, I have to like calm him down. Like, it's fine. Like, it's part of life, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, that's that. I mean, and then about like what I define love. For me, it's something that is something that you don't feel like you have to be a different person in order to be loved. And I feel like for any person out there, if you feel like you have to change a certain trait, change something about you physically, mentally, or emotionally, or whatever, then there's something that is not a fit. Of course, different yun if mayroon kang attitude problems or whatever. But that's a whole different story. So for me, if both of you guys, you accept each other, both your flaws and the good side, for me, that's what love is. Not just in a relationship, but also like with my sister, with my parents, with friends. It's about knowing that they're all human. na they
Right.
make mistakes, but you still love them anyway.
How about you, Kai?
Nice.
Um, with the advice part, I don't think I've asked my sister for advice when it comes to love. But we've talked about it. Um, and that's I would just agree with what she said because that's something that that I say a lot. I think the reason why cheating happens in general, or a lot of miscommunication in relationships, or or errors or problems, is because we don't know ourselves. And I think it's so important that we understand what we want, and
Yeah.
then understand what your partner wants, and not just what they want, but also what's important to them, what their love language is, what makes them happy, what gets them annoyed, and with yourself. Sorry, like if you're mad right now with your partner, why do you think you're mad? It's not because what your partner did, it's because you
Yeah.
were triggered with something inside of
Yeah.
you. And that was always so important to me. And again, I will just go back to communication. It's really, really valuable that you know how to speak with yourself and how to communicate that with your partner.
Yeah.
Instead of just shouting like, why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? Blah blah blah. Instead, ask yourself, why didn't that agree with you? And then communicate that well with your partner. It's because blah blah blah. When it comes to love, I think I define love as something where it's also very similar to what Nick said, like where you don't have to change as a person, but you're willing to compromise with this person, where you value their happiness because their happiness makes you happy as well. um, I don't think love, I think, is when you just truly accept this person for who they are,
Yeah.
and that person mending so well with your personality as well, like you're just so comfortable, like it just makes sense, like
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
question, like it just makes sense.
I love that. We actually do have a follow-up question, and I think I'll read it out before we end the episode today. And
Yeah.
asking, this is from Lovely, asking for a friend. My guy friend likes a girl who is older than him of 2 years. Pero hinold siya and told him to achieve first his goals. Ano to, MU? Siguro sila
MU.
before,
Mutual
yeah.
understanding.
Okay, my friend is already a doctor. Currently, he's taking up his specialty. What is your say about this? Can I advise my friend to just wait or let go na kasi he doesn't know where he stands? I think he super likes this girl, and then may pa-follow up siya na,
And
and is he
is
willing to
willing to wait
wait
longer
longer?
until the girl is ready.
Okay,
Huh.
what are your thoughts before we say goodnight to everyone?
Hmm.
Nick,
Hmm.
sorry, it reminds me of something.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, go tell us.
Tell
It
us.
reminds me a little bit of your ex. Sorry.
You're naka-mute, Nick.
Nick,
Nick.
nakamute ka.
Ah, nakakatawa. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Gusto ko yung na-delete ko na sa utak ko yun eh. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, like I doubt he's listening to this or whatever. So my ex was a med student. So that's why I was saying that I was already working, tapos he was a student. So I was thinking in my head that I will wait for him, you know? Like I will wait for him when he's ready. Eventually we're gonna get married, whatever. And of course, and that's why I stayed in the relationship for 4 years. So
Yeah.
because in my head it's like if you love the person, you're willing to wait, you're willing to compromise, like as we've talked about kanina. Pero I think it reaches a point where kung nag-effort pa ba siya enough to make you feel like you should continue the relationship. Pero like with the advice, with the current situation of this person, yung guy, hindi pa kasi sila together, right? Tama ba? Naintindihan ko, parang
MU.
ano sila, parang he just likes the girl. So for me, like okay, are you willing to wait for 2 years ba? Parang without any certainty na. What if may ma-meet pala yung girl along the way and then she can't be like, oops, yeah, sorry. Like, she doesn't owe you anything, to be
My
honest.
biggest issue
also.
with this situation is that she's asking him first to achieve his goals. We're in a really good relationship. You should be achieving your goals together. I
Together.
don't understand why you have to wait. Like for
Yeah.
me, parang this girl doesn't make sense.
I
For
think
me,
this
yeah.
girl is just
Agree.
being polite.
Yeah.
About
Instead of
Okay.
saying straight
true.
on na I'm not interested, she'll just say this instead to kind of maybe
Be nice
put it,
about it.
yeah, put it
Yeah.
kindly and let him
Yeah.
down easy. So lovely, Valley. Our advice is tell him, move on na lang.
Move on. I mean, it's
Correct.
Yeah.
harder. It's so easy to say, right? But
Of
kung
course.
pwede lang,
Yeah.
pwede lang,
Uh,
No,
mag-move on na siya.
I think your guy friend has to think about the reason why this girl wants you to be a doctor. Does that mean that her love is conditional? Like I will only love you when you're a
Mm,
doctor, or I love you um and I would like you for you to achieve your goals. You
Yeah.
know, so but for me it sounded conditional, but maybe I'm
yeah,
assuming.
that's
Yeah, I think this is
true.
weird.
yes.
Plus,
You
he's a
know,
doctor already. Ano bang
Kailangan may
kailangan pa
pera
niya
na daw
i-achieve?
siya. Kailangan
Like,
may
Ano ba
pera na, may
yan?
salary na daw. Hindi
Oo.
pwedeng may MD lang.
I
watch
don't
the
know. I don't know.
movie na he's just not that into you. Observe the
Yeah.
different scenarios there. You will find something about. Oh, by the way, I
Oh,
like this.
may pahabol ka pa, girl.
Ah!
kaya naman
Go!
kalahati.
Slide into it.
Sabihin mo sa kaya tama na yon. You're
I
there to
love
support
it.
him
You're it. You're it.
now and till the
You're it.
future.
May
I
Good
like it.
luck.
triangle.
Oh my
I
gosh.
Gulat ka naman sa triangle
I
mo
know,
before we
tawa
go.
ako.
Lovely. I think you
Okay.
have to encourage this guy to get over this girl. But with the two of you, I don't know what will happen. Good luck.
I
Sana may
support it.
mangyari.
Mm-mm.
But yes, wag na yung girl na yun. Ang labo talaga. But
Oo.
yeah.
Sana wag siyang rebound, by the way. Like,
Oh
also
yeah.
Right.
love
Also,
him.
Yun
Oo.
lang. Correct.
value yourself.
Nako.
Okay.
Bawal
Yan.
talaga mag-Tagalog. Bakit ka Tagalog naman ako ah? Di ba? Sorry. Okay.
Okay, guys,
So,
let's do
mga
ano.
kaibigan, I am
Tagalog
back.
only, moving forward.
Oo nga, ano ba yun? Na-conscious tuloy ako. Okay, so, ano ba yan?
So we're going to our end before we say goodbye to our lovely guests. Shai, we always end with a takeaway. Ano bang napulot mo sa ating
Ano mo?
Ayan.
sa ating discussion today?
Anong napagtanto mo?
Alam mo, if there's one thing,
English
I
na,
mean-
Shai. Spanish.
the bond of siblings talaga really is something. I think that's gonna be my main takeaway here. You guys learn from each other, you mess with each other. And I think beyond romantic relationships, it's important to remember na your relationship with your family and your siblings is equally important. So I think that yan ang pinaka nakuha ko sa pag-uusap natin ngayong gabi. KTC. Yan ang pinaka
Laliman
tumatak
mo
sa
pa.
utak ko.
Tililing ka talaga. Okay.
Yes. And then also, taking from what they both said, I think they're both very into communication and into a lot of self-work and loving themselves first. That's why they're able to give their best selves to their partners. And I think that's a
Yeah.
good takeaway also. How about you, Bea, in Tagalog? Ano ang natutunan mo ngayong araw na to?
Bagay ako sa AFAM. No, joke lang. No, I
I
mean
support
like
you, girl.
no, I think it's just understanding. I don't even know what I learned today. Feeling ko tililing pa rin ako.
In
felt
Tagalog,
so-
Bea.
No, I felt so bad for our letter and also
I know,
like
that was painful.
I mean, I love my sister, but we're also very similar in a way that we have very different views on love and relationship. I'm more like you, Kai, and my sister is more like Nick. So, I think what I learned is like, huwag kayong pililingin. And what's the one thing I learned? Really, I mean, honesty is good. So either you call it out honesty time or you have like deep conversations. Those are things that you shouldn't avoid. Like I think your family, they encourage that by doing like family meetings, and it's something you can carry out to your relationships. Because for me, like it was so painful to hear like Kai, what you said. If someone told you, I don't see getting married with you in the future. And then parang wala lang sabihin na ganun. Like, yeah. So that's how I think more meetings the better. The more you know what you're getting into. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
So, maraming salamat sa ating mga magkapatid na guests. Okay. Just kidding. So,
Magandang gabi, bayan.
back to you. Okay.
Wait,
Thank you.
let's say thank you to Lovely for the amazing love
And we
triangle.
wish you luck, Lovely. That was quite the story
Wow.
you gave us there.
It is.
Took us on a roller coaster ride. So, again, thank you, Nick and Erica. Thank you guys for sharing your stories so generously with us. Next week, guys, our topic is music, lyrics, and tattoos. We have the smoking hot and uber talented couple, Patty Tew Thompson and Mark Thompson. And we can't wait. Bea and I will look like titas again because we got like
Wear
cool
a
kids
tattoo
on the
sleeve,
block.
one of the
I know.
fake ones, and wear a black emo shirt.
I
We
know.
can do it.
I know.
But okay, guys, so let us quench your thirst for knowledge by subscribing to our YouTube channel. We are so close to our little goal of 1,000 subscribers, so please do subscribe and submit your love problems and even your milestones to our website, thirstyand30.club, because we love hearing about it and we don't really want you to miss a beat. So we also have a weekly newsletter called Smarter Love by Thirsty and 30, where we try to give you sane advice kung kaya man. And we send you hope, happiness, and humor all in your inbox. It's a guide for the modern day woman na ayaw mabudol.
Yeah, and also Erica and Nick, please do. I know Erica that you have a podcast, and Nick, you have a YouTube channel. Please invite our
Yeah.
listeners to your
Connect
your
with you.
stuff.
Sure. Okay. So, like for me, as I shared, like I really advocate for like self talk and working on yourself. So that's why I really went into money mindset. So for me, in my YouTube channel, I talk all about how you can master your money mindset through living your best life, making sure that you're living the sweet debt proof life as a result of that. And then I talk about all of the budgeting, personal finance, solo living, things like that. So for me, all of that just help you also like just enjoy your life, but in the same way na responsibly pa rin.
Yeah.
Enjoying life responsibly. So you can follow me on my YouTube channel at That's So Nick, and also on Instagram where I share a lot more tips over there like daily.
Love it.
And
Nice.
Erica?
Yes. Follow me and my best friend Roxy, where we on our podcast Unlearning with Us, where we talk about toxic thoughts and beliefs that we grew up as Asians and how we manage those beliefs. So don't forget, follow us on Unlearning with Us. We release an episode every Friday.
Sounds
Love it.
fun. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, stay thirsty.
Stay thirsty, everybody, or stay oahaw.
thirsty.
Thirsty and 30.